Race Weekend is brought to you by Phoenix Fuels.
Make every trip come alive with Phoenix Fuels, now with Pulse technology.
On this episode of Race Weekend, we continue our series of efforts to promote local motorsports as we get deeper into different motorsports disciplines that we have in the country. Our spotlight this week is on Rallycross, and here's my previous interview with the organizers of the Philippine Rallycross Series. Welcome to Race Weekend as we continue our efforts to revive local motorsports through Motoring Today, which we really did when we started with the show about 30 years ago. And we have decided to go back to what's indigenous, so to speak, after having aired a lot of international motorsports events like Formula One and the World Rally Championships. We're back to local motorsports. For the past few weeks, for those of you who have been watching us, you may have noticed that aside from races, aside from the coverage of races, we also had interviews with the men and women of Philippine motorsports. And today is no exception. We're not going to have a race today. Instead, we're going to interview two of the pillars of local motorsports. So may I introduce to you our guests for today. On my immediate left is Mr. Egay Quesada. Egay, welcome to Race Weekend. Egay is the managing editor of Auto Car Philippines. And beside him is the online editor of the same magazine, Ronnie Trinidad. Ronnie, welcome to Race Weekend.
Thank you for having us here.
Now, these two guys are responsible now for staging one of the most popular motorsport series in the Philippines, known as Rallycross. Am I right
Yes.
when saying most popular?
Not really. One of the popular disciplines.
What exactly is the Philippine Rallycross Series?
Yeah. First of all, Butch, I just want to correct you a bit. I don't want to be called one of the pillars of motorsports, but we are trying to help bring back, such disciplines like rallycross. Anyway, rallycross is a motorsport discipline that is done inside the closed circuit, but this is a time trial format. It's not wheel to wheel. So it is done in a closed circuit wherein the surface varies from gravel, sand, pebbles, and when it rains, we have mud also.
Not being wheel to wheel means each is flagged off at intervals of
Yes.
how long?
It depends. Like during our last rallycross race, the track was 1.9 kilometers long. So it took them 4 to 5 minutes.
For each lap.
Yeah.
But
So
the interval between the two racers?
you really have to wait for them to finish.
I have
Yes.
to. I see.
Yes.
Okay.
And for this year, what's different is we had this crossover track. So 2 cars at a time can go.
Flagged off at the same time.
Yes.
But they
Side by side.
They go separate
Yes,
paths.
they go side by
Tracks.
side, and then one goes under the bridge, and then the one goes over, crossover. So we finish a bit faster than releasing from compared to our previous races wherein we released cars one by one. Now we can release 2 cars at the same time.
Having said that, I presume that both tracks are of the same distance.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me, Ronnie, there are so many crosses, so to speak, in motorsports. There's rallycross, there's motocross, there's autocross. For the benefit of our viewers, can you give us the difference between these?
Yeah, basically the autocross is done in a parking lot. They do it now in a mega tent where they have a big space. And their surface doesn't change. It's basically asphalt or cement. Compared to us where we have sand, mud or anything, you can feel more the car going sideways, which you lose traction. I guess the difference is with autocross you get traction. In rallycross you lose traction. So you look for it, and the other one you have grip on it.
Am I right to say that one of the biggest challenges here for those who prepare vehicles is the cambering of cars, considering that you're going to different surfaces?
Cambering, I think not really that much compared to circuit. Circuit, I think they really have to adjust the camber for the turns. Here, I think we don't really camber that much because you don't really know how to anticipate things. I guess it's more for driver control of feeling where to get the traction coming from the tire and the grip of the surface.
How much preparation is needed to be competitive?
We have new racers. I have new friends that set up their cars basically for this year. 2 months to set up the car. I guess we can say that we're basically I don't want to say the cheapest, but reasonable setup to go racing. Basically, all you need is a racing seat, a helmet, a seatbelt, good tires, and you're good to go.
Good to go. Tell me now, for the benefit of our viewers again, a brief background on how you got into this. Were you with motorsports yourself? How did you decide to get together? You're from the same publication, and how did you get this Philippine Rallycross Series together?
Yeah. For some years, the former organizers of Rallycross, they stopped doing it because I think of the expenses. They used to rent the lot in front of the Manila Film Center. And that's the last Rallycross I've seen before. So I think it was, 5 or more years. There had been Rallycross races, but these were more of promotional Rallycross races done by a specific manufacturer. But the Rallycross series itself stopped a long time ago. So Ronnie, being one of the organizers of the drifting here, and I, being a former driver also, but not rally. I did karting and circuit. So there's the interest. Olson, our other partner, is a former rally driver also. There was an opportunity in 2015. It was the Philippine Motorsports Festival that was held in the Philippine Arena. And I think Olson was approached by someone and asked that if he can organize a rallycross. So they did one, the two of them. And after that, they approached me and said, if you want to try, can we try? Can you help us also organize rallycross races? So we tried one in 2015 just to see if, all those retired rally people and if there are new ones interested. So we did a one race in 2015. And we had, I think, less than 40 drivers. So from then, we decided to do a whole series in 2016. This was held in Noveleta Sports Park in Noveleta, Cavite. Fortunately, we were able to finish it. We had 10 races. And last year, 2017 season, we already did 12 rounds. Okay. So in one leg, in one race weekend, we do 2 rounds. One in the morning and then one in the night.
Up to night?
Yeah, so, because, Butch, if you remember, of course, there are rally-inspired cars here, right? And you see rally cars having those lamp pods. Because the rally in the old days, right? The real rally wherein you go from one stage to another, they use 4 large lights aside from the 2 headlights. So for them to use it, we decided to hold a night stage on the same track. Okay, it's just that the takeoff is must be after sunset.
Okay, you made mention of Olson. Before you came in, I was ready to introduce you as the 3 musketeers of Philippine Rallycross. Olson Camacho, I know, I've covered him in the past, was one of those exponents in rallying, and he's part of the group.
Yes.
And he's also with Autocars, right? He writes
He's the 4x4 editor
4x4 editor, and he couldn't make it today.
today.
He's under the weather? Under the
Yes.
bed? No, under the weather.
Under the weather.
Okay. As I was explaining earlier, also one of the reasons I thought of renewing our focus on local motorsports was because I thought there was not much development. No? The only time I changed my mind was when I had this interview with Mandy Duque, who heads motorsports in AAP, which is the ruling body for all motorsports under the FIA. And he was the one who told me that really I can't say, or he cannot say, that there's not much development because last year they were able to sanction some 62 race events, no? And having only 52 weeks in a year, he said there were weekends and there were two events going on simultaneously. So I changed my attitude, I changed my impression about motorsports, local motorsports. Now I know that there is a lot of participation. Having said that, how difficult is it to run a race, organize a race logistics-wise?
Well, thankfully, the Automobile Association of the Philippines, the sanctioning body, they have, I think, a monthly meeting. It's a meeting wherein they schedule, the organizers, the different organizers agree to a schedule. So at least they can try to, avoid clashing with each other on the same race weekend. And I think that helps a lot because there are drivers who join slalom. At the same time, they also run in force, rallycross, and other race events also.
And proof of what I said earlier, that there's been much development in local motorsports compared to the years when we were still covering it, when we were still very new with motoring today. This would mean that would you have now less problems or less challenges in getting sponsors? I know I'm an event organizer. It's not that easy to organize, especially a big event like yours, where about 100 people, racers come, or close to that. How difficult or how easy is it to get a sponsor now for events like this?
Yeah, I guess you just have to show the potential sponsors how big or small maybe, and how organized your race is. And one more thing is the spectators, the participants. They look at that. So right now, this is our third year, but still, I would say we're still experiencing birth pains. There's not much corporate backing, but we're working on it. And there's a few, but we're still working on having, eventually we would want something like a title sponsor for the 2018 Rallycross Series.
Do you think what we're doing now on race weekend, giving you airtime, would help you get sponsors?
Definitely.
Yes.
And yeah, we thank you, Butch, for having us in your show.
I was waiting for that. No, not really. Okay, you had your first race some time ago.
Sunday. Our next race will be April 22.
And where will this be?
Pradera Verde also. We'll start basically at 8 a.m. until everyone's finished.
Which is nighttime. You have the lights. You spoke about these lights. I know these are illegal lights when you use it outside.
Yes.
So don't they have problems having these lights confiscated outside, and
No.
even if it's covered?
No, because these rally drivers, they only install it
Okay.
there at
yeah.
the venue.
Okay. Now, one of our objectives also in putting more exposure to more local motorsports is to increase participation, especially in the grassroots, so to speak. How do you encourage this? How do you encourage newbies? How do you encourage the wannabes to really join you?
We have certain classes, which wherein street cars are accepted. Actually, in all classes, we accept street cars. Stock tires, stock suspension. We don't require the roll cage, although it is recommended. But you can go as stock as you can, like straight from a casa. You buy your new car, you go there, compete, and I tell you, stock cars do win also. So you don't need to really prepare it, race prepared. As long as it's running, you're good to go.
So if I'm watching right now and I'm interested to join, what do I do?
Just get in touch with us via our Facebook page, Philippine Rallycross Series, and message us, you ask us. We always put our schedules on our page. You can find out from our page. Message us or call any one of us. Now, we did the pre-registration just to save time. But if not, if you're not techie, you don't have access to social media, then you can just proceed to the event and do the registration there.
So all I need is a driver's license,
Yes.
not a vehicle.
No. Yeah, a driver's license will do. And there is, like last race, there was a competitor who is below 17.
We had two.
He or she just needs to get a written parental consent. And with that, we allow them.
Okay. I've gone through this issue before. No? I just want to make sure that you have the same stand on this. They say that nobody can drive if they don't have a driver's license. But people without a driver's license can join your.
Yes.
On what basis? Because it's private property.
It's
running.
it's done in a closed circuit. Plus, that's why we at least there is a consent from the parents. Before the race, we give them a briefing, and then we encourage them to walk the track before the briefing. And then after the briefing, we hold the familiarization lap wherein all the cars line up. Then there's a lead car that runs really slow around the track. That is done just once. So not no one will be really familiarized with the track. Just one lap, one slow lap.
Okay, there might be parents watching right now who've got children tugging on their on their pants saying that, Daddy or Mommy, I want to join. What assurance can you give the parents that their children will be in safe hands while joining you guys?
So first of all, I'd like to invite anyone. For the parents, rallycross is not wheel-to-wheel racing. Not saying that wheel-to-wheel racing is not safe, but this is also safe. There are marshals. We have ambulance on standby just in case something happens. But rallycross is done in a closed circuit place. There are no obstructions. There are no trees, whatever, that you can crash into. There is enough space. So, in case of a mishap, the driver will not really hit a wall or a hard object. Nothing.
Yeah.
So, it's safe.
Yes.
How about
safety?
okay.
Safety is very important to us. So we make sure that everything's safe. Even with this, the first time we did the crossover, I was worried about cars falling off. But everything was measured well, and it was a slow approach to the ramp. So no speed, no recklessness. We make sure that everything is safe.
I'm sure all your races, all your events are sanctioned by the AAP.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there any system wherein they take a look at your truck first and say if it's safe or not?
Yes. Actually, while the track was being built, Olson Camacho was in a regular, regular communications with the AAP. He updates the AAP, and last race we were very fortunate because Motorsport Executive Director Mandy Eduque did not just flag off the cars. He personally inspected the track, and I think it was more of, I just wanna drive again, more than expecting the track. But yeah, he had fun. He rode the track. He rode I borrowed the BMW rally car, and went out for a lap, I guess. And
Enjoyed
he
it.
had this approval. He was also happy with the crossover type of racetrack because I think it's the first here in the
first.
Philippines.
Okay, anything else that the viewers should know about the series that would probably egg them to join you next time? You're free, please, if you like to invite them. Camera
Yes.
is yours.
Guys, please do try rallycross. It's one motorsport discipline that is exciting. If you are used to having traction, then try something that's without traction. It's a new challenge for drivers, and like what they say, rally drivers are the best drivers in the world because they know how to maneuver to do a fast lap without traction. So guys, please, rallycross is safe and it's a growing sport. Please do help us bring back rallycross in the Philippines.
Ronnie, final words?
Yeah, thank you for having us here. For the people out there that want to get into racing, you can on Rallycross, you can drop by our Facebook page. It's a Philippine Rallycross Series. And join us on our next round. It will be at Pradera Verde, April 22. That's it.
Thank you very much for being here, guys. Thank you for your time. See you next time here on Race Weekend. That was my previous interview with the organizers of the Philippine Rallycross Series with insights into its resurgence and continuing development. This week's feature on Race Weekend has been brought to you by Phoenix Fuels.
Make every trip come alive with Phoenix Fuels, now with Pulse technology.